All right, let's dive into a career that's part engineer, part artist, and a whole lot of healthcare hero. Today, we're prepping you for those prosthetic orthotics technician interviews.
We're talking about the folks who design, build, and fit the devices that help people get moving again and really regain their independence. It's amazing work.
And we've got a stack of RoleCatcher resources to help us out. We've got their career guides, a huge database of real interview questions, so no generic advice here. This is the real deal to help you nail that interview.
And let's not forget RoleCatcher's AI tools. It's like having a personal coach to help you tailor your resume and practice your answers, specifically for these roles.
Okay, that sounds like a serious advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into all that, let's break down what this job actually looks like day to day.
Yeah.
What does a prosthetic orthotics technician actually do?
You're designing, fabricating, repairing. It's very hands-on. One day you might be on the computer using CAD software to create a design.
Oh, so high-tech stuff.
Yeah, and then the next day you're in the workshop using, hand tools, shaping and assembling different components.
So high-tech and power tools all in one job. That's pretty cool.
And the coolest part, you're not just working with machines, you're working directly with patients, taking measurements, making adjustments, ensuring everything fits perfectly and comfortably.
I can only imagine how rewarding that would be. Helping someone regain their mobility, their independence, that's got to be amazing. But with all this variety, what are the skills that really matter in an interview?
Well, precision and attention to detail are absolutely critical. You're working with medical devices, so quality control analysis is a top skill to highlight.
Makes sense. There's no room for error when someone's health is on the line.
Exactly. And you also need excellent active listening skills. You're working with patients who have unique needs and concerns. Really understanding their perspective is so important.
And I'm sure things don't always go exactly to plan. How do you show you can handle those unexpected challenges?
That's where critical thinking and problem solving come in. You need to think on your feet, troubleshoot issues, and come up with those creative solutions.
Okay, so attention to detail, empathy, and knack for problem solving. Got it. But now let's get to the heart of it and look at some of those real interview questions from RoleCatcher's database.
Great idea. Preparation is key. So let's walk through some common questions and give you some insider tips on how to really knock your answers out of the park.
Perfect. First up, can you explain your experience with prosthetic and orthotic fabrication? It seems pretty straightforward, but what are they really looking for here?
They want to get a sense of your foundational knowledge and practical experience. So don't just list off courses you've taken. Think about concrete examples you can share, even from school projects or volunteer work, or maybe even personal hobbies, anything that demonstrates those relevant skills.
So even if I don't have direct professional experience, I can still showcase those transferable skills.
Exactly. Let's say you built model airplanes as a kid. You could talk about the precision, the problem solving, the attention to detail. It all ties back to the core skills of a prosthetic orthotics technician.
That's a great example. Well, what about follow-up questions? They might want to dig deeper into specific fabrication techniques or materials, right?
Absolutely. Be prepared to explain the why behind your choices. Why did you use a certain material? What were the advantages and disadvantages? Showing a deeper understanding will really impress them.
Okay, so it's about showing both practical experience and that solid grasp of the principles behind it. But where does RoleCatcher's AI come in? Can it actually help me practice and refine my answers?
It absolutely can. Think of it like a mock interview with an expert. You type in your answer, and RoleCatcher's AI will give you personalized feedback. It'll tell you if you're on the right track or if there are areas you can strengthen.
So it's like having a coach in my pocket giving me real-time feedback. That's amazing. Now, another common question. How do you ensure the quality of the prosthetics and orthotics you fabricate? This one seems like it's all about being super meticulous, right?
Precisely. They want to know you take pride in your work and that you have a system for quality control. So don't just say, I'm really careful. Talk about the specific steps you take throughout the process, from checking measurements to testing the device's functionality. Mention any tools or protocols you use to make sure everything is accurate and durable.
So a methodical and detail-oriented approach. But what about the human element? Should we be talking about patient feedback too?
Absolutely. Explain how you involve the patient, how you listen to their feedback, make adjustments to ensure their comfort and satisfaction. It's not just about the technical stuff, but also providing great patient care.
Right, because ultimately these devices are about improving people's lives.
Mm.
Now, I'm curious, can RoleCatcher's AI also analyze my answer to this question and provide specific feedback?
It can. It'll point out if your answer is too vague, if you need more specific examples. It might suggest mentioning specific quality control methods, or highlighting your experience with particular tools and technologies.
That's so helpful. I'm really seeing how powerful this AI tool can be. But we've covered a lot in part 1 of this deep dive. Let's pick up right where we left off in part 2 with even more expert tips and sample questions.
Welcome back to our deep dive into acing that Prosthetic-Orthotics Technician interview.
We're ready to tackle some more of those tricky questions interviewers love to ask.
And with RoleCatcher's AI and all those insights, we've got the ultimate prep kit ready to go.
Absolutely. So let's jump right back into those real-world interview questions. This next one focuses on problem solving. Can you describe a challenging prosthetic or orthotic fabrication project you've worked on and how you overcame the obstacles?
Oh, the classic tell me about a time question. They love to see how you think on your feet, how you handle pressure, how you find solutions when things get tough.
So more than just describing the project, we need to show off our problem-solving skills.
Exactly. Choose a project that was genuinely challenging, but one where you succeeded in the end. Be honest about those obstacles, but focus on what you did to overcome them, the steps you took, and the positive outcome you achieved.
Okay, for example, let's say I was working on a prosthetic hand for a child, a really active child. What kind of challenges might I face there, and how could I show my problem-solving abilities?
That's a great example. You'd have to think about the child's growth rate, how durable the materials are, and how functional the hand needs to be for everyday things like playing or even just writing. You could talk about how you collaborated with the child's parents, maybe therapists, to get their input, how you tried different materials and designs, and how you ended up creating that prototype that really met the child's unique needs.
So it's about showing that I'm resourceful, collaborative, and really dedicated to finding the best solution for the patient.
Exactly. And don't forget to highlight the impact your work had. Did it help the child gain confidence, participate more? Bringing in that human element makes your answer even stronger.
That's a great point. Now, how can RoleCatcher's AI help me craft the perfect answer here?
Well, it can analyze your response, give you feedback on how clear it is, how well it's structured, how relevant it is. It might even suggest adding more details about the challenges, the steps you took, or the positive impact you had.
Like a virtual interview coach, making sure I nail it. Okay, next question. How do you ensure patient comfort and satisfaction with prosthetics and orthotics?
This one feels like it's all about showing empathy, right?
Absolutely. It's about showing that you're committed to a positive patient experience. It's not just about building something that works technically. It needs to work for the person using it.
How can we show that we go above and beyond to meet their needs? Start by saying that patient comfort and satisfaction are your top priorities. Then talk about the specific steps you take. During the fitting, you carefully check for any pressure points, make adjustments as needed, and explain to the patient how to care for the device, how to use it properly. You also schedule follow-up appointments.
To make sure everything's working as it should be.
Right, exactly. To monitor, address any concerns, make more adjustments if needed. It's about building a relationship with your patient and being their advocate.
It's that ongoing support that really matters.
Precisely. Highlight those soft skills, active listening, clear communication, and a real desire to help your patients live their best lives.
I'm seeing a pattern here. Technical skills are important, but those interpersonal skills, they really make a difference.
Absolutely. You're working with people who are often facing very difficult challenges, so empathy and compassion are just as crucial as technical expertise.
Can RoleCatcher's AI provide feedback on my tone and language to make sure I'm conveying that empathy?
Yes, it can. It looks at your word choice, sentence structure to see if you're striking that balance between technical details and emotional intelligence. It might suggest using more patient-centric language or phrases that show empathy and understanding.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. It's like a communication coach in my pocket. Okay, let's switch gears a bit and tackle a more technical question. Can you explain your experience with prosthetic and orthotic repair and maintenance?
Okay, this one is about showcasing those practical skills, your knowledge of how to keep these devices in top shape. Start by outlining any formal training or experience you have in repair and maintenance.
What if I don't have a ton of formal experience there? Can I still show that I have an aptitude for it?
Of course. Think about times you've fixed things, tinkered with things in your personal life. Maybe you've fixed a bike, a piece of furniture, or even just taken something apart to see how it works. That shows you're mechanically inclined and good at problem solving.
I never thought of it that way. So it's about showing I'm a hands-on learner, not afraid to get a little dirty,
Exactly. And if you know about specific repair techniques or tools, definitely mention those. Things like welding, molding, using specialized adhesives, that shows a deeper understanding.
Okay, so it's about highlighting both my formal training and any relevant personal experiences that show off those mechanical skills. Can RoleCatcher's AI help me tailor my answer to what's in the job description?
Absolutely. It can analyze that job description, pick out keywords related to repair and maintenance, and then it might suggest emphasizing certain skills or experiences that match those keywords.
So my answer is more relevant, more targeted. It's like a personalized resume and interview prep tool rolled into one. Okay, next question. This one's all about safety. How do you ensure the safety of patients when fitting prosthetics or orthotics?
This is a crucial one because patient safety is always the top priority. They want to see that you understand the risks and take precautions.
So how do we show that we're all about providing the safest, highest level of care?
Talk about the steps you take. You carefully check how the device fits, make sure it's properly aligned, and educate the patient on safe usage, any limitations. You also document everything really carefully, keeping detailed records of the fittings, adjustments, and any feedback from the patient.
So being thorough, meticulous, and prioritizing the patient's well-being.
Precisely. And don't be afraid to say that you're always learning, always looking for ways to improve your safety protocols.
Okay, feeling like a safety pro now. Can RoleCatcher's AI analyze this and maybe suggest specific safety protocols or industry standards I should mention?
Yes, it can. RoleCatcher has a huge database of safety info for prosthetics and orthotics. It can give you relevant guidelines, best practices, and industry standards to add to your answer. Makes it even more comprehensive.
That's a game changer. All right, next up a question about teamwork. How do you collaborate with other healthcare professionals like physicians and physical therapists to ensure that prosthetics and orthotics are appropriately prescribed and fitted?
Okay, this one is about showing your communication skills, your ability to work as part of a team. Remember, you're not alone in this. You're part of a bigger healthcare system.
So how do we show that we're team players and good communicators?
Emphasize that you get how important collaboration is and that you have a good track record of working with other professionals. Give specific examples like how you've communicated with doctors to clarify prescriptions, worked with physical therapists to assess a patient's gait, or coordinated care with other specialists.
So being proactive, communicative, and focused on providing that well-rounded care.
Exactly. And mention any tools or tech you use to make communication and collaboration easier, things like electronic health records or secure messaging platforms.
Makes sense. It's all about showing we're comfortable working with others and that we can communicate effectively. Can RoleCatcher's AI analyze my answer and suggest ways to boost my communication skills or highlight any collaboration tools I should mention?
It can. It can give you tips on active listening, effective communication strategies, conflict resolution. It can also suggest specific collaboration tools or platforms that are popular in the field.
Okay, this is incredible. It's really a one-stop shop for interview prep. All right, let's squeeze in one more question before we wrap up this part. Can you describe a time when you had to manage multiple prosthetic or orthotic fabrication projects simultaneously?
The multitasking challenge. This one is all about showcasing your organizational skills and your ability to stay calm when things get busy.
So how do we show we're masters of time management, juggling deadlines without breaking a sweat?
Think about a time when you had multiple projects going on, ideally with different levels of complexity and urgency. It could be from school, a previous job, even volunteering. Focus on the strategies you use to stay organized. Did you create a detailed schedule, use project management tools, break down big tasks into smaller chunks?
So being able to prioritize, delegate, and stay on top of those deadlines.
Exactly. And don't forget to mention how you kept everyone in the loop. Communicating with stakeholders, letting them know about your progress, any roadblocks you hit. Good communication is essential.
Right. Keeping everyone informed and managing those expectations. Okay, so this question is about showing off our organizational skills, our communication skills, and our ability to handle a fast-paced environment. Can RoleCatcher's AI suggest specific project management techniques or tools that I can mention?
Absolutely. It has a wealth of info on project management methodologies and software. It can give you relevant examples, best practices, shows, those industry standard tools and techniques.
This is amazing, like a personal project management consultant right in my pocket.
Yeah.
But wow, we've covered a lot of ground in this part. Explored some tough interview questions and how RoleCatcher's AI can help us craft those winning answers.
And we've got one more part coming up where we'll wrap up these tips look at some career insights, and leave you with some final words of wisdom.
Welcome back. It's the final part of our deep dive to help you nail that prosthetic orthotics technician interview.
We've covered those tricky interview questions, explored how RoleCatcher's AI can help us prepare, and now, well...
Now it's time for the fun part, right?
Yeah.
Envisioning ourselves in this amazing career.
Exactly. So let's tap into some of the career insights from RoleCatcher's guide. Landing the interview is awesome, but...
But we want to walk in confident, knowing what we're getting into long term.
Right, this isn't just any job. It's a chance to really impact people's lives.
And help them thrive. I've heard this field is really taking off.
It is. The Bureau of Labor Statistics predicts a 17% growth rate for these professionals in the next 10 years. That's way faster than average for all jobs.
Wow, 17%. That's huge. What's fueling that growth?
The aging population is a big factor. People are living longer, and that means a greater need for these supportive devices.
Makes sense, and I bet all the advancements in technology are playing a role too.
Absolutely. We're seeing some mind-blowing innovations in design and fabrication, 3D printing, advanced materials, lighter, stronger, more responsive stuff. It's exciting.
So there's constant evolution, always pushing the boundaries.
Exactly. And that means there are so many opportunities to specialize, build your skills, and have a really rewarding career.
This is seriously inspiring.
Okay.
Back to those interview questions. We've got a few more to cover before we set you loose on those interviews.
Sounds good. How about this one? What are your long-term career goals as a prosthetic-orthotics technician?
Okay, this is about showing them you're not just looking for a job, but a career you're passionate about, right?
Oh, you got it. They want to see ambition, motivation, a vision for your future in the field. Start with your immediate goals, mastering those core skills, becoming a valuable team member. But then...
Take it up a notch.
Yes.
Oh.
Maybe you're dreaming of specializing in pediatrics or working with athletes. Maybe you're interested in upper limb prosthetics. Picking something specific shows you've done your homework.
And it's okay to aim high, right? Like
Yeah.
saying, I'd love to move into a supervisory role someday, or even open my own practice.
Absolutely. Just make sure those goals are realistic and fit within the field. And it's totally fine to say you're open to exploring different options as you gain experience.
Because lifelong learning is key, especially in a field that's changing so fast.
Couldn't agree more. And speaking of professional development, did you know there are certifications you can get?
RoleCatcher mentioned a few. Certified Orthotic Fitter, COF, and Certified Pedorthist, CPED. What do those involve?
Great examples. A COF focuses on custom-made orthotics, braces, and supports, while a CPED specializes in footwear and foot orthotics. Both require passing tough exams, so it shows a high level of knowledge and skill.
So definitely something to consider if you want to stand out and maybe even specialize.
Exactly. Many employers look for or even require those certifications, so they can give you a real edge in your job search.
Okay, adding those to my list. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's wrap up with some final wisdom for those interviews.
Preparation, preparation, preparation. Research the company. Use RoleCatcher's AI to practice your answers and be yourself. Let that passion for helping people shine through.
And don't forget to highlight those soft skills: empathy, communication, and problem solving. Those are just as valuable as the technical stuff.
Absolutely. This is a career where you can make a real difference. So walk into that interview confident, knowing you have what it takes to succeed.
That's such a great note to end on. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today. And to all our listeners, good luck with those interviews. And remember, you got this. We can't wait to see you making a difference in this awesome field.